Has more on that story in this week's Now Showing. Rick?
Yeah, 6.5 years ago they started doing the shows down there. All started by a young man by the name of Terry Taylor, who was in a local band called Face of Decline and just kind of fell into the business of booking rock and alternative shows at the Nordic Hall. In the beginning, the shows drew a crowd in their early 20s. Now the shows seem to draw a younger audience, 13 to 16-year-olds roughly, who are looking for a release, and that release is called thrashing.
It's wild, frenetic, almost crazed, and if you're not careful, like our photographer, you may end up in the middle of it. Welcome to Sunday night thrashing at the Nordic Hall.
It's kind of frantic, you know, but it's really cool. There's, you know, kids, they just want to help each other out, I think. It's kind of fun. That's the main thing, fun.
It's hard to explain. I mean, if you look at this crowd, you can sense that they're not like everyone else.
It's awesome. That's it. It's the best.
Bodies flying around.
It's the best. It's the best escape ever.
Welcome to a world where no one cares what you wear or how you style your hair. They ask nothing of their peers and are asked nothing in return, except to have fun and listen to the loudest music you'll find anywhere in Sioux Falls.
School is a big stress. I come here, it's so fun. You can just be yourself. You don't have to worry about anything else.
There's not very much in Sioux Falls that a lot of people are going to be able to do.
You don't have to be the star athlete or most popular student. For these kids, it beats hanging out at the mall. And perhaps most importantly, there's not much you need to learn about this style of dancing, except don't get hurt.
From a bystander, it looks violent, but what Terry does for these kids is probably the most positive thing in Sioux Falls at this time right now.
But perhaps most importantly, say these kids, it's a release.
A lot of kids that normally just don't quite fit in, sometimes they're the emotions suppressed inside. I think sometimes these kids feel like they don't even belong on this planet. And this is one place where they can come and nobody looks at what brand clothes they have, what their hair looks like. They just go and they get their aggression out.
If I may, a little perspective for those of you who may be worried about what you just saw. When I was a senior in high school in 1970, many parents were worried about and strongly disliked the pressed flesh form of dancing known as disco. I think my generation came out all right. To each his own, I guess. The Nordic Hall charges a $6 cover. On any given Sunday night, you'll find between 200 and 400 teens there. For each of the trashers you just saw, there are one or two kids who are just kind of standing back and watching, and well, I'm sure enjoying the experience.
We're going to wait and tell you what we think about, not necessarily the whole generation, but...
one person in
I don't know if a disco comparison is entirely fair. This is more like...
Oh, this is
like, how is it like punk rock?
Yeah, it's heavy metal at times, it's alternative at times.
But the thrashing is the head?
Yeah, and there's really no dance partners. I don't know if you could tell that. I mean, there's no guy and girl touching each other, you know.
How about the parents? I mean, has there been a reaction or feedback?
There were none the night while I was there that night shooting the story. Some kids, though, tell us that parents have stopped in, mostly parents of band members who are playing there. And the kids say the parents seem to enjoy the experience, although they don't get a whole lot of parents going down there. Also, if your child does go there and whether or not he or she smokes, when they leave that, they're going to smell like they smoke because a lot of the teens do smoke down there, and there's not a lot of ventilation out there, so it gets kind of smoky.
And they do let them smoke there, evidently. Okay. Yeah. What else is going on this week?
Well, there's a benefits dance at the Ramkota